What's up, guys? Sub-Zerk here, back for another VOD review. Today, we're doing a Wasianiverson VOD review. Wasian hit rank 1 a few days ago, and he's battling back and forth for rank 1 right now. And, I VOD reviewed Wasian, it was actually kind of funny. I think the day he hit rank 1, I reviewed him earlier in the day, before he actually had hit rank 1, and he was sitting at, rank 9 or something, and then he just went on, a monster just tear on the ladder, and I was like, Wasian's a really, really good TFT player, and he's not rank 1 right now, but, he's still really good. And then he hit rank 1, so hilarious that tends to be that good TFT players are good at TFT, and they know how to play good TFT. And I feel like Wasian, I've been watching his stream a lot because he's a really, really good informative streamer. He is always saying out loud what he's thinking and what he's trying to do in a game of TFT. And I think that's really, really important for a meta like this, where most people are starting to understand the meta lines. Most people are starting to understand. Onto these watchers here. Yeah, makes sense. Most people are starting to understand how to play this set. There's not, there's definitely still some secret tech, and I will certainly do more VOD reviews of ooh, this new comp's coming out. But now we're starting to get more into the phase of refining, especially because we don't have a patch for another week at this point. So now we're starting to refine. How do you play the most optimal lines the best? And I think Wasian is one of the best people at doing that. First augment here, Ambusher Crest, one for all, not today. Ambusher Crest is really, really nice going into an Ambusher line. You do have half of a lot of really, really solid Ambusher items here. You have something like half a Titans, half a Hodge, half an Edge of Night or BT. And, this would give you the Camille. The problem is I don't really like that it's half, half, half. I would much rather have a Hodge slam into Camille and then be boom, we're good. We also didn't hold the Powder earlier, who you need for Ambusher. One for all means you have to play one cost reroll. Not really something that I'm that interested in. Not today tends not to be one of the best early game augments if you're not going to hard commit for that kind of stuff. So I don't like any of these that much. Rolling a glass cannon here, which is an interesting option. Is that two Family Crest players? Did he just see, or did he tab over the same person twice? And there's a one for all player. So, Family Crest and one for all are basically the same line. Because this guy, yeah, this guy's Family Crest. So I think that was the same person. But yeah, this guy also wants to play Family. So actually pretty unfortunate for them, because being contested Family is not it after the Family nerfs, I would say. Oh, it's going to be a Worth the Wait rip. I was going to look at the other options. We had the red buff option, which seems like people are not that interested in taking as a first augment, and then glass cannon, which I also don't think is that amazing early. Oh, and we get a Vex here. Interesting. So it's definitely going to be level up here, slam our items onto this Vex. So a Worth the Wait Vex game. That should be pretty fun. I'm interested to see what board Wasian is going to play this game. We could just obviously play into Vertical Rebels. We could just play into Visionaries this game. There's a lot of boards that Vex could fit into, and we'll see if he can get to the 4-star Vex type dreams, or if he even cares about getting to 4-star Vex. We shall see. All we know right now is that the opener is pretty nice. He has the opportunity to play Rebel here over Sentinel and just goes for it. Yeah, I certainly think this is stronger with 2 stars. This makes perfect sense to play on the board right now. You're just gonna be a little low frontline, and just doing some scouting here to see what everyone else is playing here. Soju has to play this comp from this spot essentially. There, you have to play one cost roll, and there aren't too many other one cost roll lines. And then, yeah, the fact that there's contested Family in this lobby, I think, is it's quite humorous. But yeah, we'll see what else happens here. Also, there's a stacked lobby, by the way. I didn't comment on that, but Lil Top, Greya, Fan the Kiki, Jupes Kid, Dank Miem, Me First or 8th, K3 Soju. Every single one of these players I have seen pop off in a tournament. These are all strong tournament players. Just goes to show when you're this high. Oh, wait, what was that? Can I go back there? Was that a Worth the Wait player? This person fast 8 type stuff, Pyro. He saw, oh, Me First or 8th, Worth the Wait Urgot tech. He's got Urgots in a Trist and a set. The double Urgots, as far as I know, unless this augment doesn't work the same way augments have worked in the past, it's not like you're going to double stack the Urgots. It's not like you get one stack on the Urgot and then one stack on the other one, and they combine and get both. But it just ensures that you don't have to play a unit that you don't want to, because obviously with Worth the Wait, or not with Worth the Wait, but no scout, no pivot. Did I say no scout, no pivot, or was I saying Worth the Wait the entire time? You guys know what I'm talking about. With this augment, which is called no scout, no pivot, if you put a unit on there that you don't want later, you're going to be very, very sad. Vex items here. I could see a Gnasher's Tooth being a solid slam. I could see red buff if you want to guarantee that heal cut. It doesn't have to be red buff forever onto the Vex. Can get moved over to somebody else if we play vertical Rebel could just go onto the Ezreal, and we also pick up a Singe 2, and we can level for that. I mean, fantastic. We also have an extra Rebel on this board. We're just looking for the set to potentially get to the 5 Rebel setup, which would be really, really nice. But yeah, the opener's looking fantastic for Wasian here. He's stacking up his Vexes at this point. He's got 5 so far. He's going to easily stomp this board from Jupsa. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how the rest of the game goes. Seems like a decent amount of reroll, right? We got the Urgot player. We got the 2 people playing family reroll. I think somebody in chat called Camille. But I don't know who it was actually, but I think somebody called Camille. So we'll see if that person even ends up playing Camille. I mean, it's a very, very strong line. There should probably be at least one person playing it in a lobby. And I can't wait to see me first or 8th setup if he can get to that board, because that is the hard part about the Urgot board. I could potentially do. Wasian played a really, really cool Urgot game earlier today. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. Because the hard part about the Urgot board is getting there. If you can get to Urgot 3 and eat a giant set 3, you are potentially just winning the lobby. But if you don't get there, you're very, very potentially just going 8th. So it's a very, very first or 8th comp. It's very, very fun to play. Why are we doing this, Wasian? Why are we waving this Vex around? But it's fine. I mean, we're 7 Vexes. We're almost there to the Vex 3, which will be a huge spike. And with this this win streak, we're feeling really, really nice. Don't really care about the Smeech or the Swain here. Gonna make gold and hold on to a Kali pair, makes sense. And we get a Warmogs here. Warmogs is the immediate slam from Wasian because this item is just broken. This is probably the single best item in the entire game right now, Warmogs, because of the way that it interacts with Alawi. Alawi really, really likes the HP because she's a Sentinel, and it interacts really, really strongly with Garen, who gives HP to his the units to the left and right of him based on his own HP. Those 2 tanks really, really like Warmogs. It's even solid on like Mundo, so it's good on everybody basically. You can even throw it on a random Elise, though she's probably the worst holder of it. But yeah, it's a fantastic. It's a fantastic item. Just build this every single chance you get, and ideally play for like a giant Garen or a giant Alawi, and they just tank the entire board. This is going to be a Vex 3 here. Prismatic Pipeline is an augment that everyone rates insanely high, so yeah, I think that might just be the pickup from Wasian here. Yeah, we're going to go for that. And we do have Academy that we could fit in here. Yeah, this looks perfect, and we get the Academy, which is a Steadfast. Wait, that's actually fantastic for us. Extra tankiness for our Irelia here. Yeah, I think we can potentially continue our streak unless we get wrecked by Liltop here. That is a horrifying Camille. We have to make sure we don't get wrapped, actually, because this positioning, it's very possible to get wrapped. Yeah, he has to make sure that Leona is the same side as the Camille, or else she can just wrap right into our backline, which would be really, really bad. The Vex doing work, though. Note that Wasian is positioning a Vex in the middle of the board so that she gets the most value out of her ulti. She does that AoE. She hits her target and then does an AoE after, so you really, really want her in the center of the board, kind of like similar to old like Malzahar at times. That's a Zoe. We could play. We don't actually have 5 Rebel anymore, so he's just gonna. It's actually kind of hilarious. We level for the Zoe, but we're not even. Or we're going to level here because there's no reason not to. We still get to make 30 gold. We can push for streak, but yeah, we're not even going to play the Zoe. But I mean, this really, really streamlines our game plan. We're not holding a lot of the other Rebels yet, but I mean, it's going to make it very, very easy for us to get to level 8. I mean, maybe even some kind of like fast 9 angle. We'll see here. Though the Rebel comp, I mean, it caps out decently if you're playing for stuff like Jinx and that kind of stuff, but we'll see. We have Glove open at this point. Guardbreaker is, I guess, an item that you could look to build. Yeah, I mean, it's probably fine. Oh, we can't pick it up, so... I mean, we could make a real Steadfast Heart. It's a very, very solid item onto either the Alawi or to the Garen late game. Probably just gonna be Alawi this game since we're already thinking about Rebel here. It's, you know, another Steadfast for Academy, though I guess that doesn't really do anything. Everyone taking 10 damage is actually pretty good for us here because we're... The thing that we definitely have here is HP. We wouldn't actually want it to be something like items because we're already... I mean, I guess if we got like items that are good on Vex, it would be solid, but items, you know, if we get tank items, it would be bad. Also, ooh, I think we... Yeah, this is a really, really tough fight versus Liltop. I mean, honestly... We were probably always losing this fight, but a rough positioning where the Camille ends up getting the ability to just wrap onto backline there. I think it was just, we can actually, let's go look back and look at the positioning really quick to see how the wrap ended up happening here, because he does have a unit on the left side, but I think that ends up getting blocked by something like this Trundle here. Yeah, so the Trundle walks up and the Camille, I mean, it's also that once this unit's dead, Camille just has an easy beeline to the backline, which makes sense. So yeah, unfortunate to lose our streak, but I mean, honestly, Camille with 3 items is just a monster. So I don't know. Even if we had positioned perfectly there, you know, done something like this where it's a lot harder for them to wrap and they would have to get through our Iron Fire frontline, I still don't know. The other thing is that Vex is not a very high single target damage unit. She's more AoE based, and so pretty tough for Vex to just, you know, one tap their the Camille. You just don't have the damage. Speaking of which, we're fighting another board that is really single target is something that we would want here. We almost get through the Violet in time, but yeah, it's just not enough in this Family Darius 3 choose through us. I mean, Jupsa Kid, he did hit his board. The problem is, look at his econ, level 5, 10 gold. I mean, he's begging for like a 5th this game, especially looking at his HP as well, 48 HP. You really don't want to be very, very low playing 1-cost reroll because it doesn't cap that high. But hey, we ended up getting punished from the fact that we took a Prismatic Augment that did essentially nothing. Here is going to be our reward for it. 2 support anvils and an artifact anvil. Fantastic for us, and a decent amount of gold. We can go level 8 here, get 5 Rebel in, and yeah, that's what I was talking about. Maybe a fast 9 here. Looking at reforging the sword to look for something else. We got to look for something here. I mean, your only options here are Lichbane and Trenchcoat. I like Lichbane, I would say. We have the Shojin to get a quicker cast. I mean, it seems really, really solid, and we don't really have a third item for the Vex right now, so Lichbane looks very solid. I think Wasion's gonna do a quick stats check, it looks like, to see how good is Lichbane on, I don't know, Vex 3. Item-wise here, ZZ Rod for extra frontline looks good. We already have heal cuts, we don't need Flame, and Moonstone is always a broken support item, so I'm down to pick that up. We're gonna lose to Dank Memes here, but I think, you know, we can make ourselves feel a little bit better saying that we were down support items. Well, it's definitely not Heroic Grab Bag, and it's definitely not Arcane Retribution. Kind of criminal that this can be even offered here with 2 Sorkin, but I mean, you do have Sorskin. Another support cache wouldn't be that bad. Both Mana Flow and Mentorship are pretty. We didn't even say the Spellweaver. I'm actually really curious what he values the highest here. I could see an argument for any of these here. He's gonna go for the Mana Flow. Yeah, I feel like that's something that people rate quite highly. I don't know. There are like augment tier lists that are going around, but I feel like a lot of them, if they aren't updated really, really regularly, can be quite difficult. Another Warmogs. Wow. So our items for our potential Alawi, Warmogs, Steadfast Warmogs. I mean, lowest of keys, that could be this, though. It's probably not when you only have 2 Sentinel in. If you have like 6 Sentinel in, that might actually just be this. Fighting Fan the Kiki here, who has a Twitch setup, but he doesn't have Twitch 2, so he's got all of his items on a Corki here, which is pretty unfortunate because this Corki unit, yeah, he's not the best. So we're gonna win this fight. 53 gold. I do think this is just a fast 9 from Wasian, just going to show like he played the early game fantastically. I loved every single item slam that he made. He did his best positioning for that Camille and to keep his streak, did end up losing it, but still overall I liked, you know, how he's positioning Vex the entire early game, and this is his reward, a potential fast 9 with 64 gold here. If he can win a few of these next few fights, he's going to feel really good. This is me for Sir 8th spot, by the way. Finally hit the Urgot 3 and the Set 3. So his board's actually not looking too bad. The only downside is he's no healing on this Urgot. His kind of like fake healing item is the Edge of Night, which, you know, doesn't heal, but at least keeps him alive longer. So unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can get to a healing item later, but I mean, still, the Edge of Night will do a little bit of that function. Item-wise here, we have everything slammed except for a Chain Vest, and we're really looking for MR Shred here. Also, what happens to Wasian here is quite interesting. He lags out at this moment, and his stream goes down, but never fear, his stream comes back up a couple of rounds later. So this is where we're going to jump back in with Wasian. He's found a Garen at this point. Like I talked about, Garen uses these items fantastically. He ended up losing a fight down to 35 HP, and something really bad here. As he's turning his stream on, he doesn't have time to position, and there's a Violet 4 on the right side here that is going to wrap straight to our backline because we did not position to anti-wrap because we were too busy turning our stream back on. So Wasian's going to take a huge loss here, and all of a sudden, he's down to 21 HP. This spot went from really good to really, really scared really, really fast. But yeah, he picked up that Garen here. Now he has Garen pair. Another thing to note here from Wasian's spot here, this is not a Rebel game. Look at what he's doing and what units he's holding. He's holding onto the Cassiopeia. He's holding onto these Blitzcranks here. This is more of like a visionary, like Black Rose visionary type game because he knows he's going fast 9. So why would we play for the Rebel board, which is much lower cap? We might as well. We're going level 9 here with 50 gold here. I can bring down the roll down to 1x speed because these are important roll downs. There's, you know, so many units that you can hold. He doesn't even bother to hold one of the Silkos, which is interesting. I guess because he knows he's level 9, so he knows he has level 9 units to play for. Buys the Malzahar, and I'm so sorry, but goodbye to the Vex here. Not going to hold on to these Rumbles and type units here. Going to pick up some extra Mordekaisers here. The main thing he's missing at this point is his 4th. Well, he has this. He doesn't have his 5th Black Rose. He doesn't have a lease. Yeah, he's checking Black Rose. We don't have a lease on this board, which is really, really rough. We have basically everything else. We can play the Mordekaiser here and start moving items over. Lichbane over there. Shojin red buff over here. Last damage item there. And some kind of damage item for the Malzahar. I think Archangels look perfect, yeah. Though the only downside to Archangels is that we end up bypassing MR Shred. Actually a little surprised that, because he did also have the opportunity, obviously, you know, we're doing this really quickly. He had the opportunity of going for Spark or Shiv and then having just the Lich Bane on Malzahar, but maybe he has some idea that Lich Bane is not a very good Malzahar item. I mean, honestly, fuck it. Let's do a stats check. Let's go into Malzahar and say that we have a 3 item Malzahar and then go items and look at Lich Bane. Wow. Wow, it looks bad. That is crazy that it looks that bad. Interesting. And then like LeBlanc is Lich Bane that much better? Yeah, it is that much better. Okay, so Wasian, good understanding. He probably stats checked this the second that he had the Lich Bane. He knows that he needs to play for real items. And, you know, MR Shred is a great thing to have in a game of Teamfight Tactics. It's really, really, you know, important to have. But you can't, you know, bypass MR Shred and make your items suck, essentially. And that's what Wasian does here. Very, very smart to not do that. All right, we need this Elise here. And at the last second, there's the Elise onto the board. So we're going to play the Elise plus the Swain here, pick up the Jace here, who's a much just better addition. A lot of people capping their board around Jace. We're going to go backline Jace here because, I mean, yeah, look at our frontline. We have so much frontline. We just need the damage here. And Wasian's 7 HP. But he's made his pivot. He's gotten to the 5 Black Rose board. He's picked up 1 Malzahar. And these days, if you guys haven't seen this Malzahar unit, 1 Malz is all you need. Let's just watch over these next few fights and see what Malzahar 1 can do. This unit is illegally good right now. There's LeBlanc too. In a sane world, in a world where TFT was balanced, it's not. Just gonna clue you guys in on that. You would move your items from Malzahar here over to LeBlanc, but there's 2 reasons why we don't. 1, Malzahar is a broken unit, and 2, even theoretically, LeBlanc is not like in a spot like this, LeBlanc is not a carry type unit. She's more of like a tank. Well, no, I don't know why I said tank. She's more like a support unit. You really, really care about her utility in the fact that when she casts, she does that damage spread thing where like the damage gets shared. You really just care about that cast. You don't really care about her doing a lot of damage. Static Shiv looks really juicy here. I imagine we're just going to pick that up. Yep, looks very, very good. And for the rest of this game, I just want you guys to focus on Wasian's positioning because this is a comp where there's a few things that are really, really important. 1, it's making sure your Elise can cast because this is an Elise 1. If Elise dies really quickly, she is just not going to cast. 2, it's making sure that your Scion is in front of enemy melee carries. You want your Scion to disrupt stuff like Violet. That's why you keep seeing him swap over and hover his Scion in exactly like this on the same side as melee carries. 3 is, well, we'll talk about it later. It's a really, really cool positioning tech against the Ambusher board that he did this game that I think I've played against somebody who was essentially doing the thing that Wasian does this game, but they were doing it by accident, and it was really, really sick. So, well, it was sick in that I really hated it, but we'll see when he ends up doing it this game. Scouting the Ambusher player here, a little top. I don't know if he does it this round, but yeah, this round it really looks like Cyan wants to be on the right side here. And yes, this is the tech. Did you see that? It was real quick, but if you guys missed it, he swapped over the Jace Hexgate to the right. Now, why does he do that? It's because Smeech is targeting. If you guys don't know, Smeech targets the unit with the least amount of items. That means that if you have this Hexgate in the backline, it does count as a unit with 0 items. So very, very often, if you see, like if you have a Smeech like right here and it casts, it's going to jump to the Hexgate. And what's even better about that is oftentimes it'll jump to the Hexgate, hit a few units on this side, cast, and then jump right back to the front line, jump to say this Vladimir here. And the great thing is that when Jace casts again, respawns the Hexgate, the Smeech jumps right back to the Hexgate. So it's a really, really nice positioning tech versus those comps. I don't know if we're going to see it again because that player, I think our pool's been reset. Yeah, now we're fighting me 1st or 8th, that Urgot board. So our pool has been reset at this point. Blue buff for LeBlanc looks really, really nice here. And just a random even Shroud here looks fine. We just got to get our sign in a spot where he's going to tank the most. We can't CC this Urgot, so we'll see what we can do versus this board. This is probably the best comp into the Urgot comp, I would say, by the way. Malzahar into Urgot, and yeah, you can see here, me 1st or 8th goes 5th. Wait, that's so tragic. He played such a cool line and ends up getting punished for it, and he was stronger than most people in the lobby. This is a crazy call. I love this, though. Look at this. Look at the rest of the lobby. Everyone is 1 HP. We only have 1 more fight left. And also, look at our streak here. We're on a 5 streak. We're winning the lobby without... We can win this lobby without Malzahar, too. All we need is frontline here. Once again, look at that Hexgate over there. We'll see. Honestly, we're bursting out. Yeah, there. It happened right there. We can go back and look at it because obviously 2x speed. But this is Smeech here. He casts, jumps straight to the Hexgate. Now, Smeech is probably going to die here regardless. If this Smeech is a little bit more HP and the Hexgate is here, he can just kill our entire board. Obviously, you know, he was going to die regardless there, but I think that's just, it's a really, really nice tech against these boards. And look at this top two. It's just us versus dank memes now. No Malzahar 2 for us, but who cares? No Vladimir 2 either, which is kind of rough. So let's see if we can beat this board. A very, very similar Black Rose board. I mean, it is just the best board in the game. I'm not going to tell you that this board sucks. I mean, it is just broken. But let's see if we can outposition it. They also have LeBlanc too, but they don't have the Malzahar on their board, which is really nice. Malzahar getting a huge cast here. Our Scion on the left side disrupting, and their Scion really not doing much. I feel like we outpositioned so hard. Their Scion just could not disrupt our backline at all, and our Scion disrupted their frontline a lot, and it's an easy dub for Wasianiverson. I just thought this was a really cool game showing out how to play Fast 9, how to do some of these really, really cool positioning techs at the end of the game, how to just kind of like think as a game of TFT progresses, how to come back even when you're really, really low. All he needed was to complete that roll down on 9. He wasn't interested in holding on to like extra superfluous stuff. He just rolled down for the units that he needed, and that's all he needed to win the game. And he also played around his items beautifully, augments. He did it all really well. So hope you guys enjoyed this VOD review. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check my Twitch. I'll leave the links down below. Thank you guys, as always, for watching.